Welcome back to Shall You Proceed podcast. I have a good one today. I have some family today. I have some big sis today. I have some amazing today. I have someone today that I have known most of my life. Okay. She has seen me go through every stage of life. I love her dearly. She's my big sister. Her and my actual sister have the exact same name. It's really amazing. Teri Nicole Harrison, I have today with us. She is a business innovator. She is an attorney, a mom, a wife. She has her own, she's the CEO and founder of Fearless and Fabulous Worldwide, founder of Business Girls Rock in Nashville. Please welcome to the stage, Teri Nicole Harrison. Round of applause. Round of applause. How are you?
Good evening, Lisa. I am so excited to be here today. Thank you. I appreciate that introduction. We are sisters for life. I have known you since you were probably 2 years out of diapers. And so you are definitely baby sis. And I'm so proud of you and what you are doing, and just happy to be here tonight.
So I did not do you justice. I know that. So you're a young woman, okay? You are a young woman and you have done a lot. I know who you come from and where you come from. So excellence is only thing that is accepted. So please tell everyone your journey to who you are right now. Just give them a little bit of who you are. A little bit of who you are.
Oh my goodness, the journey is long. So we'll just talk about who I am right now. I am, like you said, I am a mom, a proud mom of a 12-year-old daughter. I'm also a wife. That's who I am personally, but professionally, I am an attorney. I am a motivational speaker, and I am an entrepreneur.
Okay, so your journey, you're a phenomenal singer and actress. Okay, stop. Let me do what I'm doing. Okay.
Thank you, Lisa.
I really thought you was going to be on Hollywood, the big screen, when I was growing up, because you were the outgoing. Not as much as Gia, because y'all are the same but different. But I thought you would be on Broadway, big screens. Next thing I know, you're an attorney. What? Trying, laying down the law. Then you're in New York, catching subways, doing what you have to do, moving and grooving. Then you move to Tennessee.
Yes.
You settle down a little bit. It's a slower pace than New York. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Practicing, and then there's a shift from practicing law to business development and helping women. So where did that shift come in? What was all of that? What's going on with that?
What's going on with that? Well, you are right. Taking it back to the Broadway, it's not too late. It's not too late for New York City and Broadway. It's still on my dream board. It's still on my list. But I started practicing law in 1999 after graduating from Spelman College, and decided that I wanted to be a solution for people who had issues, and wanted to be a solution that would not only help them legally, but also help them from an empowered perspective, to help them personally. And so I fell in love with helping people succeed, helping people achieve, specifically women. When I began to work with women and their businesses, I realized that a lot of women did not have a business plan. A lot of women did not have a networking plan. And a lot of women did not have a sales plan, a marketing plan, all the things that are so critical for their business's bottom line and ultimately their success. And so I fell in love with helping women put together the pieces of their life, not only mentally, but also personally and professionally. So I became a certified life coach many years ago and started doing some life coaching and some business coaching. And I still do that today through my company, Fearless and Fabulous Worldwide.
First of all, I did not know you were a life coach.
Yes, I'm a certified life coach for over 10 years.
I did not know that. So I see, look at you. You didn't say that. You didn't tell me that. So you already do services, who you are, serving people, helping people, especially when you're an attorney and what you were doing to help, like you said. Then you took this shift to now you're helping people get their life together as a life coach, business development.
Right.
That's a big difference though. So all the people that you've helped, what made you say, you know what, this is going to be my new career. I'm going to start my business. I'm going to do this and rock it out. So what made you make that actual decision to start, the fabulous brand that you have?
Well, the shift really became when I became a mom. When I became a mom, it put things in perspective for me. My daughter is now 12. But at the time that I had Kennedy, I decided that, I didn't want to be a slave to anyone's clock. And practicing law, that's what you have to become. And I didn't want to dance to anybody else's beat. I wanted to command my day. I wanted to have control and power over what I did and how I did it, especially as a new mom. And so I had to make room for myself. So I took 10 years off from the practice of law to kind of figure myself out, to figure out my game plan, what's next for Teri. And in that process, I just realized that I needed to be true and authentic to my calling. I knew that God was calling me into something bigger. He was calling me into something deeper. And it didn't sound as prestigious as being, an attorney. And people were like, are you going to really leave the practice of law to help women? And I feel like there's no better service than to uplift humanity. There's no better service than to motivate and empower women to step powerfully into their purpose as I was stepping powerfully into mine. So I walked into this because I knew that it was my calling and it was my purpose. It was definitely a part of my destiny to do what I'm doing today. And that was really the shift, becoming a mom and just recognizing that there's more for me to do. None of us have to be cornered into a specific career. We don't have to stay stuck into something that may be financially rewarding, but not necessarily personally fulfilling. And that's where I was with it. And it was a struggle. It took me a minute to say to my parents who had sacrificed so much, right? It took a minute to tell my husband that, you know what? I don't really want to do this on a full-time basis. There's more to me. There's a different side of me, and I need to step into that. And I'm still stepping into it. I'm still learning. I'm still evolving. But that was really the epiphany for me, was motherhood and recognizing that I wanted to be at every game, at every dance recital. I wanted to be able to go and volunteer at the school in the middle of the day without having those ties that corporate America bound you to, and those weights where you can't do what you want to do because you have a job, and that job for them is more important than your family. So I wanted to take a different shift with my priorities, and that's sort of how Fearless and Fabulous was born.
And I think it really it says a lot about who you are, because you didn't want to be tied down to someone else's agenda, someone else's purpose, someone else's clock. And you wanted to give your family, your daughter, all of your time, on your time, by your rules. And it's safe to say that you try to empower other women to do the same thing. So with all of that, you wrote a book.
I did.
You wrote a book, Winning at Entrepreneurship, Innovative Strategies. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about your book. And you wrote it in 2015, re-released with new cover. I love it because it has your face on it. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan of, let me see who you are. So tell me about your book and tell me what I will gain from this and why would I need this book? Tell me about that.
Okay, well, I wrote the book, to be honest, as a challenge. I found a mentor who was already doing a lot of the things that I was interested in doing, and she said, you need a product. And I said, I need a product. And she was like, yep, you can speak at my next convention if you have a product to sell, specifically a book. Well, I had a goal to write a book. I already knew that I wanted to write a book. So that was like, okay, perfect. This puts me in position. This motivates me to get this book done. But little did I know the conference was less than 3 months later. So I had to put the pedal to the metal and really take action. And so the process of putting the book together was great because it pulled something out of me that I didn't even know I had. I was able to accomplish this goal in a rapid speed of time because someone challenged me to do it. And so I wrote the book to challenge other women to just do it. You know, a lot of people have ideas to start a business and they never start it. They never do it because the statistics are very daunting. All right. 75% of businesses, according to the Small Business Administration, fail within their first 15 years. And oftentimes people are so scared of what could happen that they don't take the steps to make it happen. And so winning at entrepreneurship is really just saying, listen, if you want to win at being an entrepreneur or anything else in life, it's all about making a mindset shift. You have to go from being an employee to an employer. You have to make the shift from being on somebody else's clock to being on your clock. So the book is sectioned off into 3 sections, which is you, because I think that's the most important component to anything that we do, is dealing with self and dealing with mindset. So it's you, then it's your business, then it's your success. And so I felt like a lot of business books were how-to guides, but they didn't really deal with mindset. They didn't really deal with those shifts that you need to make within yourself. It didn't really deal with fear, how to attack fear. It didn't really deal with assessments to see, are you even cut out to be an entrepreneur? So what will you get from this book? It is a how-to guide for any entrepreneur who wants to start, grow, or expand their business. And it gives you everything from what you need to do from a mindset perspective to how you need to create your customer service experience, how you can protect your business legally, all the way to what type of tax documents to file and things of that sort. So it really runs the full gamut for what you need as a practical how-to guide.
And that's something that I think many of us, what bothers me right now is the whole start a business. That's not everyone's ministry, right? And
Right.
plus, many of us, you just can't tell someone to start something without a blueprint, without at least some guidance. And
Right.
also be willing to listen and be receptive and get what works from you from all of that. What's going to work for you, because we can all start a business. Will it succeed? Will you handle the ups and downs? Will you understand it's going to be a process? Cultivation,
Right.
you have to harvest and plant and fertilize, and it's not easy. People want to
Right.
be this six-figure or millionaire business, and it's a process, and you have to know the steps. And I appreciate you laying out the steps and also saying, this is what I want to do to help everyone. So let's talk about Business Girls Rock. Let's discuss that. Let's discuss what you started in Nashville, and that just rolls all into what you're doing. So what made you start that movement?
Well, I felt like locally we needed something that was not only empowering, that could bring in different aspects of what I call the business dream team. You need to have a coach, you need to have attorneys, you need to have a marketing advisor, you need to have a CPA, an accounting aspect to your business. And so what I did with Business Girls Rock was I brought in other influential leaders once a month where we could all come together and hear from these certain professionals so that we could up level our business. And I thought it would be great to create some Nashville camaraderie, to be able to network and hobnob with women who had all different types of businesses. And something that you said earlier too is that we learn from each other's journey. And so if you're sitting in a room with other people and we're all going through the same journey, but we all have different pivots, different turns, different experiences, but we can learn from each other nonetheless. So whether someone has a hair salon and someone has a tech company, we still at the base of it are women trying to take our businesses to the next level. And we have stories and experiences that we can benefit from when we share them. So that's really what Business Girls Rock is all about. I mean, it was super fun of course, with the pandemic now, we're on hiatus, but I look forward to us returning and being able to meet again real soon.
And, with technology, of course, you can figure it out. And I think
Absolutely.
it's really important to have that network for women, like-minded individuals, because we're always learning, right? We're always growing, and you can learn from someone. It may be this or that and put it together. And what I love that I've noticed now more than ever, there isn't a competition. It's, there's enough food for all of us to eat, right? There's enough to gain. And what I may be good at, you're great at it. So let me listen to you. Or what I may be great at, like, let me listen to you. And it's like, let's help each other, because there's enough out here for everyone. So we're different from men. We don't have to compete. We were told and forced we had to, and to be cutthroat, and that's not the reality. You don't have to be that way. It's not good for your self-love, self-care. It's not healthy. And I think the direction we've been going in lately has been nothing but positive.
Absolutely.
And to bring that to the South, to bring it to the South is amazing. So I know, Teri, you have been on a speaker run. You have been called to voice your opinion on many, many platforms. How does that feel looking back at your life and your journey? Because this is not what you thought you were going to do at 20.
Right.
Now that you're 25, okay.
Let's emphasize that 25. 25.
Yes. That's a number. I'm not losing. So now that you're 25, a mom, a wife, entrepreneur, mentor, still an attorney, motivation, what do you say to yourself when you look back at the years of your life, like this is where you are right now? What do you say?
Yeah, I'm grateful. To be honest with you, gratitude, honestly, is my superpower. When I had no speaking engagements to when I had too many, the reality is I was still grateful, and I say too many just because as a mom, I have to be mindful of what I take because my daughter is still young. And so I can't do everything.
Right.
But, I'm grateful for every opportunity. I'm grateful for this opportunity. And I think we all have to walk around with a sense of gratitude, no matter where we are. And more importantly, no matter where we're not. I think sometimes people tie gratitude to some level of success. People tie gratitude to some level of accomplishment. But even if you're stuck, you still have to be grateful for that moment because even in your position of being stuck, you're still evolving, you're still growing. There's something God is still pulling out of you. And so no matter where you are in life, your journey is incremental, but the gratitude has to escalate regardless. And so I just stay in a continual state of gratitude and just thankful for the opportunity to grow and evolve. And there's still so much I want to accomplish and do. So, for me, this is just the beginning.
Absolutely. I mean, you are an author, of course, you have your guide. You're also a contributing writer to Huffman Post, Success Magazine, Black Enterprise. Look at you, all in all from your home, right? And how does it feel though to you have a daughter, which is pressure alone. You're a
Right.
Black woman with a Black daughter, a Black husband, and you are killing it. What do you say to her to keep her motivated and to keep yourself motivated?
We talk about motivation daily. In fact, she is over me talking about motivation, but it's necessary because you have to plant seeds, right? And eventually those seeds will sprout into something. And so I always tell her that being ordinary is never an option. You should never reach for ordinary. You should be extraordinary. You should never be good. You should always be great. Your standards should always be next level. You should always be trying to overdo what you did the last time because you're only in competition with yourself. And what you do, every decision that you make, will either propel you or pull you back. And so you have to ask yourself, when I make this decision about whatever it is, no matter how big or small, how does it position me for the big picture? How does it position me for what I want out of life? And most importantly, how am I going to get it? And so we have these conversations daily. I push her, I motivate her because that's what my mom did for me.
Yes.
She did not accept anything less than what she considered to be the best. And it was challenging, but I am grateful for it today because the way that she raised me and the way that my father raised me, it propelled me to take things to the next level. And I want to do the same thing with Kennedy. And I think we should all do that with our nieces, with our daughters, with our friends, with our cousins. We should be bearers of encouragement and support for all those around us because when one succeeds, we all succeed.
Listen, you really are because I interviewed your cousin, Vanity, author,
Kennedy!
Vanity,
Woo!
and she had the most amazing praise for you and Gia. And it's like, Gia and Teri, this, I'm like, I know. And I understand that I know your parents. Listen, they pressure me. I understand.
Everybody.
And it's healthy pressure. I don't co-sign to being too easy,
Right.
because that wasn't what we had. We received the love and the nurturing, but also knew the excellence was what was required.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And Kennedy is excellent. I can't keep up. I
Thank
can't.
you.
Kennedy got
Thank
better
you.
life than me. I'm like, can I? I'm a fan. I am a fan of Kennedy. So let me ask you, 2020 was difficult for everyone.
Yeah.
Some had bigger challenges than others. How was 2020 for you? And how has it reshaped your mindset of what your goals may be for 2021?
2020 was really interesting because, thank God I work online and I didn't have any financial setbacks as it relates to the pandemic. I don't have a brick and mortar business, so I wasn't impacted that way. But it was very interesting to sit back and watch culturally how the United States of America took a shift. And we witnessed a lot of things that we've been witnessing for years, but last year was something different because other people began to get on the bandwagon and it became almost, what's the word? It became mainstream to care about what happens to all of us. And So from a cultural perspective, it was very interesting. And what it really reminded and prompted me to do was to continue to walk in a greater level of excellence and to be an example, and also to be a bridge builder. You know, there are so many inequities that exist, not just from a racial perspective, but just from a class perspective, from a cultural perspective, not just between the United States and other parts of the world, and how to bridge those areas together. For unity, for peace, and for social change. And so from that perspective, it was just an interesting dynamic. And I have committed myself to more service in 2021.
Mhm.
It's one thing that I haven't really been able to do this year in 2020 with the pandemic is to go out as I usually am and to be social in the community. But I have vowed for 2021 to be more of an advocate, and to be more inclusive with my daughter and bringing her out, and with my husband as well, to do service together as a family, and just to continue to impact lives on a greater perspective. From a business perspective, I've calibrated my goals. You know, some people kind of said, well, listen, you know, this is not a good year. I'm not going to advertise. I'm not going to market. And I kind of went on a standstill myself. But I'm going full forward and full throttle this year, because I've seen other entrepreneurs do it and still be able to scale and expand and do phenomenal things, even in the midst of a pandemic. So it is a reminder that no matter what is going on around you, it should never stifle or stop what you have within you, and that you should always pull those things out no matter the circumstance. So I'm just going to continue to use my tools, continue to grow. I've committed to reading more books, and just studying more and just evolving more. That's my life commitment.
Well, I mean, okay. The pressure's on for me. I can't. I'm just trying to figure out, when I'm gonna wear to work in the morning. Okay, Teri. The pressure. Thank you for the pressure. You've done so many things in your life. You truly have grown and evolved every year of your life as a woman, as a mother, as a wife. So, and in business, before we leave all of this, what would be your top 3 must things that women must do or people must do when it comes to starting their business right now? What would you say would be 5 things to consider, to do, to work before you just jump, feet first into starting your business?
Well, number one, I think everybody needs confidence. And I say that because a lot of people have an idea, and like I said before, they don't execute on that idea because they really are not confident in who they are. First thing that you need to do is you need to define yourself. We go to school, we learn how to do math, how to add, subtract, we learn all sorts of vocabulary words, but do we learn self? We don't learn self. There are no classes that tell you how to be introspective. There are no classes that talk about self-analysis. There are no classes that talk about excellence, not from, until probably maybe when you get to college, you may have some off courses. But at the end of the day, we are sending children to school who become adults, but who are not functional in who they really were created to be because they do not know themselves. So the first thing that I would say to do is to become introspective and tap into who you are, absent a title. A lot of times as adults, we define ourselves by, oh, I'm this, I'm that. No, that's not really who you are. That's just the titles that you have. Who you are, you were before you even had that title. So who are you at your core? So become self-defined. This is what I encourage all of my clients to do. Create a self-definition, because when you have a definition in which to operate from, there's certain things you will no longer tolerate. There's certain things you will no longer say. There's certain attitudes you will no longer have because your definition does not align with that anymore. So the first thing that I would say to do is redefine or define yourself, and then tap that into being more confident, because when you know who you are, what you're good at, and what you're good for, you show up in the world differently. And when it comes to business and your success, you have to show up differently. You have to be able to distinguish yourself in the marketplace, because consumers want to know one thing: what are you selling, and then why should I buy it from you? And so you have to be able to answer that question. You have to be able to step up into that, and you can't do that if you're not confident. And so the third thing that I would say is you need to elevate your courage, because even if you are confident, see, confident is fragmented. We learned about fragments in school, right? It's the incomplete thought. So you don't want to be an incomplete woman. And what happens is that you have incomplete ideas that you don't operate from, because even though you know that your idea is bomb, even though that you know that you can do what you can do, you're too scared to do it. And that's what happens with most people, because you can have the confidence, but you don't have the courage. And so confidence without courage is like gas without it's like a car without gas. It will not run. And so you need to operate from a level of courage, which means I got to do what I got to do, even if I'm scared to do it. Even if every excuse comes up, even if the enemy is all in your face with fear, all in your face with doubt, you have to recognize that, you know what? It doesn't matter what I don't have. I'm going to rock with what I do have, and I'm going to make that work. That's where your courage comes in. You also need to have a game plan. So many people wake up every day, right? And people are just existing, but they're not living. People are hearing, but they're not present. They're content, but they're not fulfilled. And so, how do you wake up every day with an agenda that's in alignment with your purpose and your goals? So, you have to have a vision, and you have to write that vision, and you have to read that vision as much and many times as you can so that you can propel that vision forward. You also need a revenue plan. Especially for women, you know, we have a lot of passion, and that's great, and we have a lot of purpose, but we don't have a lot of profit. And God did not give you that idea so that you could live broke, so that you can live paycheck to paycheck, right? God gave you that idea to propel you into the abundance that He has created for you. But oftentimes we focus so much on the idea and so much on helping people that we forget that we have to help ourselves as well. And so having a money consciousness, having a level of financial literacy going into this year will serve women well. And last, but certainly not least, you need to connect to something greater than yourself. These are times where we cannot afford to try to figure it out all by ourselves. Not only do we need a network, but we got to connect to a higher power. We have to understand that that's a part of who we are and how we evolve and become. And so I would say to ignite your connection to the higher power and understand who you are spiritually and who you've been called to be. Because when you start connecting to who you are spiritually, you understand what I call the power of the P. The power of the P is your promise, your purpose, right? And your profit. So you want to be able to do that. And one of the ways to do that is to connect to something greater and stand on your scriptures when times get hard. Stand on your scriptures when you feel like you're frustrated and no one understands you or you don't have a support system. Stand on that word, you know, when you feel like someone has wronged you or something is not going right. And so I feel like when you do those things and put those things together, that positions you to step into entrepreneurship a whole lot bolder and a whole lot bigger.
I mean, okay, gems. All right. I mean, that for the past 2 weeks, everyone that I've spoken to has been the same resonating message. You know what I mean? And I know I struggle with people think I'm so confident and all it. I walk in a lot of fear, you know, because the fear of really doing what I need to do and the fear of failing. And I know failure is there. I have to bump my head. That's just a part of growing process. But it's that fear. But I have to admit, I was telling Gia last night, how this is the first year of my life in my adult life that I've started a year at peace. Like
That's
actually at
good.
peace.
That's good.
And you know, the worry that I manifested in my brain is not there. Things that I need to do, I'll get it done.
Right.
I'm not walking around with the tension on my shoulders. I have a plan that I'm working, you know, and I'm trying to manifest it, but I'm taking the steps to put the plan in place. And I think many of us have these ideas and we want to do these things, but they forget there's a process.
Right.
You may want this, but what are the steps to get to that? And
Right.
I've been working. 2020 for me was a great year because I worked the steps to get to the point of this process that I'm in. And it wasn't anything, it was more about who I am as a woman and being more comfortable and just accepting, like, really, my no is my no, my yes is my yes. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. Taming my tongue, being mindful of what I say and how I say it. All of those things. So it manifests, and everyone I've spoken to, from you to Gia to other people, has been that same type of tone, and I appreciate that. You know, so it's a word, and so you just preached a whole sermon right there. So Teri, listen, people are going to listen to this and want to know, where can I find? I mean, I need her to help me get my life right. I need her to tell me what I need to do. And I understand the pandemic and you're reevaluating and readjusting how to be virtual, to be out there. But what's coming up new for you, and where can we find you? Where can I say, I need your Teri, help me? What do we do?
Yes, Teri wants to help you. So absolutely. So you can reach me at 𝙇𝙞𝙨𝙩𝙚𝙚.com. That is my website. You can see my services. I'm really excited because I am offering some new virtual master classes that I'm really excited about. I usually work with primarily women entrepreneurs, but I'm adding in women leaders as well. And that's every woman. We are all leaders, whether we know it or not. And so I'll be offering some services for women out there who are looking to just get clear on who they are, getting a life plan, which is so important, and just sitting down, just really figuring out, what do you want out of life? So I'm offering some of those services, not just to entrepreneurs, but to all women. So I'm super excited about that. Those services will be launched by the end of the quarter. So stay tuned. But you can find me there. You can find me on Twitter at @_Teri Harrison. Also on Instagram @_Teri Harrison. So I definitely want to connect with everyone, and I look forward to seeing you on social media.
And your book is on Amazon.
Book is on Amazon, Winning at Entrepreneurship, Innovative Strategies for Small Business Success, and it'll be on the website as well.
Teri, I want to say to you a true thank you. I've been trying to get you on for quite some time, and you're Hollywood, you're celebrity, and it's hard to get. It's hard to get. I mean, it's hard to get you. But no, really, I really appreciate you sharing your wisdom and sharing who you are as a mom, as a wife, as an entrepreneur. And this year for women, just with the election and just how we are just in place.
Information. Yes.
We are in formation for real. And we're not done. This doesn't mean stop. Nothing is healed. And we need people like you to continue that. Let me help you grow. Let me help you let me motivate you. So I want to say thank you so much for doing what you're doing, pivoting in your life to still do what you do in law, but also your calling to help women achieve and be who they should be in their purpose in life. I want to say thank you for that. Thanks for coming on the show. I'll make sure all your information is in the description, and I'll make sure that everything is out there. I'm gonna have everybody buy a book. Thank you so much for being on. It's been a true honor and a pleasure.
Well, Lisa, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I have to reiterate that I am super proud of you because I have seen the growth in you. I have seen the evolution of you, and what you're doing with your podcast is remarkable. I want to just say that I do truly applaud you for what you're doing and the steps that you're taking. And if you ever need anything, you reach out to me for sure.
I need a business plan. I'm about to just email you later on.
Do it. I am here for you.
I'm about to I bought your book the Friday to get the book again and fill it out because I'm holding myself back. But no, thank you. You do not need to thank me at all. You are my sister, and I'm just happy to know you, to see who you are and how you grow. I am so proud of you, and thank you so much. Everyone, I hope you enjoy the show. Thank you, Teri.
Thank you. Good night.